With Obamacare kicking in, companies are looking for any way they can to save some money on their health insurance costs. Some are considering giving employees a set amount of money and letting them just go out and get their health insurance settled on their own. Joining us now is Kevin McKechnie, the Executive Director of the HSA Council. Kevin, I want to make sure I've got this right. As a way of saving money, some companies will give employees, here's $10,000. You get out there and you cover your own health insurance costs with this money, a set amount of money. Is that what some of them are doing? Have I got it right?
Well, good morning, Stewart. And yes, I assume some are going to do that. It's the voucher system that you've heard something about.
Yep.
But that's not exactly what we're doing. We're going to make sure people have affordable major medical insurance, and HSAs are that product. But I have no doubt that in response to the high cost, you're going to see a voucher system in some places take hold.
Now, you're talking about the health savings account, the HSA, right?
Yes, sir.
That's you. That's what you are.
It is. That's exactly right.
But the amount of money that I can put into my HSA has just been restricted, hasn't it?
Well, it has been limited. The Affordable Care Act did impose some limits on that, but every year these accounts are indexed for inflation, and so the amount of money that everyone else can put in is going up.
But it's a maximum of $2,500 a year, isn't it? That's it.
But just for an individual. For a family, it's much higher than that, and the contribution limits are higher still. And so there is an ability in an HSA to save meaningful amounts of money for your future health care costs.
Wait a minute. If I'm my employer, and I'm the breadwinner in the family, for want of a better word, I cannot put more than $2,500 into that HSA, can I?
Well, no, you can. In an HSA, you can put as much as $6,000 if you're a family. There is a product called a flexible spending arrangement, which was severely capped by the Affordable Care Act, and that is the account that is capped at $2,500.
So you're saying the HSA, that's $6,000 for a family, but the HSA has to be offered by the employer. Is that right?
Well, they do. The employer environment is where most of the HSAs are, and that's where we've seen such spectacular growth. This is a response to the escalating costs of both insurance generally, but also because of the recession. Companies are looking for savings anywhere they can. They are offered by your employer, and your employer puts money in this account as you might on a tax-free basis. It grows over time, and you're supposed to use it to pay for your routine medical expenses and, of course, the expenses you might incur in the future.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, I was a little unclear about exactly what this is. Essentially, you're talking about like a 401k pension plan related to just health care coverage. That's what it is.
It is. A health savings account is something like that. It is a savings account in a bank that's paired with a qualifying medical plan, the major medical insurance. And what happens is you pay for things like doctor's visits and so on out of your account. It grows over time tax-free, but the insurance is always there. In fact, you can't have a health savings account without the qualifying insurance.
Okay, so my employer gives me health insurance. I pay into it, he or she, the employer pays into it. And separately, I can have one of these HSAs, and it can build up and build up. And I can put my money in, and the employer puts some money in. It builds up and it builds up. And when I need it for healthcare purposes, I can spend it. And I don't pay any tax on the money in that HSA. Have I got that right?
That's absolutely true, but it's better than that, because no matter who puts money in your account, the contributions to the account are deductible to you. And they grow over time tax-free, and so the interest gains are tax-free as well. And as long as you spend that money on qualified medical expenses, it comes out of the account tax-free until you're 65, and then you can continue to pay for qualified medical expenses, or you can take it out as regular income and simply pay income taxes on the money.
Kevin McKechnie, I'm glad you straightened that one out. That's very interesting. I love the 401k principle, and if you can get it applied to healthcare, like it too. Thanks so much, Kevin. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Stewart.
Okay, sir.